This Kimball pipe organ used to be used for silent movies in downtown Juneau. It was moved to its present location here in the public area in the state office building in 1977. Now it's used by musicians like J. Allen McKinnon and others for public performances and noontime entertainment. It's an example of one of the kinds of music available in Southeast Alaska. Hello, I'm Scott Foster and welcome to Rain Country, where this week we make different music in different Southeast communities.
Don't say nothing, he just keeps rolling, he keeps on rolling along.
John Darmon has been a professor of music at the University of Alaska in Juneau since 1980. He had visited Alaska in the late 1950s and was eager to return when he learned there was a job opening at the university.
I had always loved Alaska, and here was a chance to come back. The chancellor's name was Paradise. How could I resist that? You know, and the school was on Glacier Highway. How could I resist that? And the pictures I got were so beautiful. Even though I had been to Alaska before, this all seemed so new to me because I had not been to Juneau. And I came here and I absolutely loved it. It's 3.8 miles to work out the back loop road for me every day. And every day I drive across the back loop bridge, and I still almost drive off into the river, gawking at the glacier and the mountains.
Open your eyes as you do it.
And I thought, you know, I've had a lot of exposure to music, I've had a lot of training, I've had a lot of experience, and maybe I can share that up there and enrich my own life too. And I got here, and lo and behold, a tremendous number of people signed up for voice lessons at the university. College students here are different too. You don't have the normal college age of 18 to 22, whatever it is. Not so much. There are not so many distractions. When I get students here, they usually are pretty serious, even if they're the younger ones. They're taking voice because they want to, because we don't have a professional music degree. They're not after a performing degree, a Bachelor of Music. They're not after a Bachelor of Music education so they can go out and teach. They're studying voice and music because they love music. I have some serious students who sing with soul, and I like to see that. People who have a real direction in their singing. Now, they may have some vocal hang-ups that get in their way, but if they have a direction, if they're going somewhere, I can listen to their engines, so to speak, and try to get some of the rattles out.
You know what's much better
I'm
than
trying to
you
think
thought about? The yaw
fluid.
set.
Yeah.
It's so much better than it was last time. You've got a long vowel, and the CH and the set or the Z are great.
There's a standard out there which I have never met and I have rarely approached. There's a wonderful standard in singing that some people do meet today, and it's appreciated by those who recognize it. Kathleen Kapler is a very good student of mine right now. She did the lead in Mikado this spring. And she's a good student for several reasons. One is she has a beautiful natural voice. One is that she really wants to sing. One is that she has a direction in her music. She knows the effect that she's trying to make. One is that she's intelligent. One is that she has poise. And she's conscientious. She practices regularly and practices well, practices intelligently.
One more.
I can't do one more.
I used to hike a lot in the Smokies where I grew up, and I would see the top of the mountain up there, and I would climb and climb, and I would get to the top and I'd say, oh no, because then there was another valley and another peak that was even higher. And singing is like that to me, music is like that to me. There's a lot that great musicians do that I don't hear, I'm sure, but I hear more and more. And what I try to do with my music appreciation classes, as much as the limited time allows, is to get them to listen to music actively, to try to see what's in the music. Then I will hear a recording of one of the great works that I've sung, and that's when I feel this yearning for something that I had almost forgotten about. And I'll stand in front of a music appreciation class and they don't know it, but my body will just be covered with cold chills when I listen to a particular work. And so often I see faces light up and people come to me as semesters progress, you know, and say how much they're learning, and they never knew that there was this much in music. There's an enormous amount in music, and I search for it all the time.
John is continually looking for ways to share his music with others, like the people and students of Hobart Bay. He brings music to the logging community during bi-weekly visits.
I had taught here for 8 years when the opportunity to teach at Hobart Bay came up. So I accepted it and went down there. My principal goal all the way through was to teach music, a sense of music, a direction in music, and to make sure, if I could, that the children down there enjoyed music, that they saw it not as a miserable experience, but something enjoyable. Well, my second year down there, there was a little boy who had just come to the camp, little Travis, who was first grade. And the teacher introduced me when I came into the classroom and said, "Now we're going to have music." And he just looked up and said, "I hate music." So I thought, oh boy, I'm going to have an obstacle in this little one. So we got started and played musical games, which they just love. Billy, Billy, they love. Here's the way we Billy, 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 Billy. Here's the way we Billy, Billy all night long. Here comes Sally, 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 stepping down the alley all night long. Here comes another one, just like the other one. Here comes another one all night long. Here's the way we Billy, 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 Billy. Here's the way we Billy, Billy all night long. Well, at the end of that class, and it was a fairly long class, about an hour, which is a long time for first graders, I said, well, that was it. I had to leave. And little Travis said, "No, more." And that is one of the most satisfying things in the world to me. I love those children down there. They're just wonderful. I really do like them as people, and I like their eagerness. And we just have a good time. I just get down there with them, and we just play these games, and I work up a sweat, and we just have a wonderful time. And they're learning something about reading music. I emphasize rhythm a lot. I think that's neglected so much with young students.
Okay, here we go. Okay, everybody look at me now. Everybody look. Michael, here we go.
John enjoys working with groups like the Juneau Lyric Opera and the Juneau Bach Society, and performing with other Southeast singers and musicians.
He's never around here when there's working to do.
We have to create our own opportunities here, but it's hard to create opportunities when you don't have the resources that you've had before. But more and more now, there are people coming out of the woodwork who will sing and who will play and who will do things just for the fun of it.
Why you all talk about Jim?
I love to stand up and sing the old musicals. I would love to give a performance in Ketchikan. I would love just to go down there for a couple of days, get to know the musicians in town better. And there are some good ones. Petersburg, Sitka, other communities around here. Not to mention the rest of the world.